Hi, Wheeler kindergartners. We're back with science today. Last time we were together, we learned about the different parts of a plant, and today we are going to do a root and stem experiment. The instructions and supplies needed for this experiment are on the website. So if you want to go ahead and do it and you have everything you need, go ahead and do it on your own. If not, you're welcome to follow along with me. So today we are going to try to prove if the roots and stem really do the job we talked about last week. Do the roots and the stem of the plant really bring water and food up to the leaves? So we can't see it happening when it's happening outside because everything looks the same. But we can do an experiment to see if it's really happening. So what I did was to set up my experiment, I put food coloring. It's blue food coloring. It looks like it's black, but blue food coloring in this cup and red food coloring in this cup with some water. And then I put celery that had leaves on them. The celery we talked about is a type of stem. We actually eat this stem, but it also has the leaves on it. And if you look at the very bottom part of this of the celery, that's acting as the root. So that's how I set up the experiment. And if you look over on this side, it's a really close-up picture of the leaves. And you can tell that they are just light green leaves, right? Just plain light green leaves. All right, so 2 hours later, I left it there for 2 hours. And let's see what happened. After 2 hours, you can see that the roots and the stem of the celery sucked up that water, and that is how the leaves turned blue. I didn't do anything to make the leaves turn blue. The celery stem just sucked up that water and brought it all the way up to the leaves. And you can see it's much better, it's much clearer on the blue in the blue cup than on the red, but you can see they are, I call them reddish leaves. You can see at the tips of these leaves, it did work as well. It's much more obvious on this side, okay? Here's a really good up close picture. So for me, that is absolute proof that the stem and the roots do bring water up to the leaves of the plant. The next thing I did is I put it on a paper plate and I carefully cut the inside, cut a little sliver off of the stem or the celery plant. And you can see it's striped almost like there are these little tiny tubes, many of them inside the stem of the celery stalk, right? And that's what's carrying all that blue water up to the leaves. It's so amazing. You can see it really closely here, right? Some of that blue water that got sucked up into the stem and up to the leaves. Okay, so now that you've witnessed my experiment about how roots and stems really do bring water to the leaves, you're going to complete this celery observations. So good scientists, they do their experiment and then they tell their findings in an observation. So it says, draw the results and answer the question. So here you would draw the before cup, and that would be where the celery was still very light green. And you can draw just one. You don't have to do the red and the blue. So I would just do the blue because I think that one worked out much better. So I would color this water blue and draw celery, light green celery with the leaves. And then after you could show that what we saw at the end, that the leaves actually turned blue. And then it says, what happened to the celery when it was placed in the colored water? And you can try to write a sentence here. Okay, I hope you enjoy the experiment and maybe you decided to do it on your own, it's really exciting to see it happen after just 2 hours. It's really a cool thing to see that the roots and the stems really do their job. Okay, so and we will on Friday we have one more science lesson where we'll talk about what do we use plants for, and you'll see there's tons and tons of different things that we use plants for. Okay,